Namaskar, Mabuhai. Welcome back to Soul Yatra Unfolds. I picked up a topic today which is a little unconventional, and many of you might find it difficult to agree with me or understand the concept. But I thought it was important for me to explain because I found a lot of depth into this. I thought this would be very meaningful, and it could help us resolve not one lifetime issues, but actually multiple lifetime issues. Now I know that apart from Hinduism, most of the other religions do not believe in a rebirth or transmigration of souls. So if you do not, I totally respect it, and you don't have to agree. You can choose to disagree. But in case you are interested, it'll be worthwhile listening to what I'm sharing. So we all know that soul is an energy body, it does not die. It annihilates and then it comes back, it changes its form and it comes back into another human body. That's a law of karma, what we talk about. And in this law of karma, there's a very complex, detailed structure as to how our actions are rewarded, punished, either in that lifetime or they are carried forward. So I have many other videos where you can go and see the concept of law of karma, so I'm not going to get into detail. I have picked up one piece from that. And what is that? There is a word called Runanubandhan. It comes from two words. Rin means debt and Anubandh means it's give and take. It's tied to it. So Runanubandhan means, our commitment, our give and take to our karmic debts and credits. So how does it happen? So let's go step by step. So, when we interact with someone in this lifetime, we get connected, either emotionally or physically. Now that connection is not easy to dissolve because our brain, our mind has stored a memory of it. We all know about our subconscious memory, right? So there's a memory, good or bad. And this memory is what the root of everything in our life. How does it work? So our body is not as simple as it looks like. We all don't know where the soul is. But in Vedic philosophy, the soul is the most subtle thing in our body. We start from the gross, from the exterior body. And then as you penetrate layer by layer, you go and meet your soul, your conscience. This journey from your gross to subtle is through 5 sheets, 5 layers. The first one is called the energy body. Energy body is made up of all our cellular body, flesh and blood. The next one beyond that is the energy body, which is where our, the air what we breathe in, which the pran vayu what we call, which goes and forms energy within us. And that in 72,000 nadis, or 72,000 hollow air channels, which forms our aura, is the energy body beyond that. The third layer is considered to be the mind, where everything what you see, everything what you hear, you talk, is programmed there, just like a software coding. It's called neuro-linguistic programming in modern medical science. But it does not have the ability to discern what is right and wrong. It just captures. Beyond that is the intellectual body, the Vigyanmay Kosh, where there is deeper inscription of what we have captured as memory, as feelings, our likes and dislikes. And it is this Manomay Kosh and Vigyanmay Kosh together form our inherent character and quality. Vibes, right? You have heard, right, that you're born with certain traits. You have this inherent quality, or you have inherited it from your parents. But that's basically what you're carrying from what has been coded there by your actions and deeds. Beyond this is the Anandamay Kosh, or the bliss body, which envelops the soul. So when we die, the cellular body dissolves right here because we got it from Mother Earth. The energy body goes and dissolves in the cosmos, in the universe. It is this the subtlemost 3 layers. They go and come back with our karmic actions coded in them. Again, most of these are explained in details in many of my other videos in the podcast. I will put in a link where you can go and understand them with more depth. The magnitude of this memory, or the magnitude of your connection with people, is based on your physical, emotional, and verbal contact. Verbal is the least in the magnitude level, emotional is the second, but physical is very intense. So in the concept of Runanubandhan, the bond or this physical attraction between two souls is strictly tied at soul level. So what I'm trying to say is, it is not connected with your material body. What does it mean? It means it is not tied to a gender of the present life. So for example, if I'm a woman and I connect with somebody physically, with a woman or a man, the memory of that my layer, that Vigyanmay Kosh, will not be that he was a man or she was a woman. It will just code the relationship, the contact at a soul level. So I hope I'm not confusing you all, but the Manomay Kosh will not remember whether you are a man or a woman. It will only remember you as a soul. And remember, we also are not always born of the same gender. Vedic philosophy always also says that roles are reversed. So you could have been a man if you're a woman now, or you could have been a woman if you're a man now in your some past human lives. So if you had a very deep karmic or physical connection with someone in the previous birth, whether as friends, relatives, or even partners, that impression, which is called the sanskar, will be carried forward. The roles of the genders can change. You may have been a woman in one life, you could be now a man in another life. The karmic pull will still manifest as attraction, affection, or a strong sense of familiarity based on how you interacted in your previous human life. The nature of the bond, whether it is romantic, platonic, protective, or even conflicting, depends on the type of pending karma between those two souls. Runanubandhan essentially says that soul remembers connections beyond body. The script of interaction can change from life to life until the karmic balance is settled. So I've already reiterated multiple times that the Atma or the soul doesn't have a gender, it's an energy body. It is beyond physical form. In India, we say Kam and Vasana. Vasana, usually people, translate it to be lust or more, physical desire. But basically, Vasana means desire of any kind, not necessarily physical. It's unfinished experience which the body is craving for. And now I'll relate it to you why we are talking about physical contact. So if you interacted with someone physically, the pending karma or the unfinished desire will be to connect again physically. Again, to make it simple, so if two souls shared a lot of emotional and physical closeness, this will continue to survive different births, and irrespective of gender dynamics, even if they are reversed, the karmic attraction will only grow stronger and stronger. Sometimes we all wonder, right? He's so good looking, how come he fell in love with somebody we thought was not a match to his looks, right? Very often it happens in our society, in our social life, friends, that how come someone likes someone and we like someone else. Someone maybe we believe very good looking, but they have ended up liking somebody who probably is not so good looking by our eyes. It is because of their pending karma. Because in some other human life, irrespective of how they looked, their souls had connected and that at that level. And that is where we understand the concept of vibes. Sometimes you find people very familiar. You just thought that you always knew them and you get along well. And some people you are not just, you resist or you're not very attracted to. You just say that, our vibes don't match. These are what are vibes? It is the way we have interacted in some other human life. We also switch roles. Do you know that if you look at a chart, like if I look at an astrological chart, I'm beginning to learn. I'm still not an expert in that, but there are indicators which say how role switches have happened. Parents could have become children. That I wouldn't know who's who, but yes, there is a connection. Definitely, there's a deep connection between parents and children, and their roles could have been reversed. Males could become females, females could become males, friends could become partners. It's very complicated, and it's good that we don't remember. Otherwise, I don't know how would we survive. But this basically, when you look at a chart, you can, of course, I can't tell who was who or who was father or who was the uncle, but To some extent, you can make out that whether you, in some human life, you possibly did the role of a man or you possibly did the role of a woman. And there are traits, inherent traits, which when we talk and we discuss, it ultimately unfolds. So why am I talking this? And I did not mention the detail of this topic in the beginning of this episode, because the topic what I picked up for today was that based on my learning from these carry factors of my previous human lives and our spiritual connection, one thing I realized that Runanubandhan should be minimum when it comes to physical contact, because the impressions of physical contact are very deep, very difficult to erase. And that's why culturally in India we have always grown up being taught that you do Namaste or you touch someone's feet as salutation, but not go and hug or not get very physical. And this might sound, not very trendy or, might sound very conservative. But if you understand this science and if you understand this logic, you would actually be very scared every time you wanted to get physically close to someone. As such, we are making too many connections by our talks, by our emotional connect, by the way we think, by how either it is trade connect, business connect. All those impressions are being coded every time. So look at how you're filling your ledger balance, you're with your debit and credit. These are all pending karma. So we'll keep coming back into this material world with a backlog of our karma to experience happiness and also unhappiness. But the more people you connect physically, there are more chances that physical impression, what is coded, could trigger and translate into deeper physical connection, which means multi-relationships when it comes to intensity of the relationship. And isn't that very, very emotionally taxing? Today we are seeing a lot of marriages break up because of physical contacts. We work in different places, we get close to people, and love comes later. Usually it is a physical attraction. It could be momentary, but it ultimately leads to a very complicated situation in one's life. I would today urge that as much as we are fond of people and we do it harmlessly or innocently, but my suggestion would be that we teach our children to practice distance physically with their friends, with their neighbors, with their close relatives as well as they grow up. So I know that when children are small, it's very, very common for us to, cuddle them, get close to them. I do that with all children around. But as they grow up, they should gradually be taught to not get too physical. I'm sure, the Western philosophy has been different, and what I'm talking today, again I repeat, could come across very conservative. But today I'm not saying this because I come from India where we are conservative. I'm saying this because of what I've learned from this ancient science, which has far more depth than what we all think so. So to summarize, Runanubandhan teaches us that physical contact creates subtle karmic bonds, tying knots through past life debts. Avoiding unnecessary touch prevents forming new karmic ties that may bind us beyond this lifetime. We don't want to continue being tied up for many lifetimes. Our goal should be moksha or salvation, and this plays an important role on that journey. Please feel free to reach out to me if you want to know more details or more depth about this. Thank you so much. As always, please like, subscribe, and share.